Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. What we're going to talk about today is probably going to get some people upset. It is a little bit of a rant on my side, and you have been warned. This is a trigger warning for some people. All right, before we dive into the topic itself, let's go ahead and talk about normally in these types of videos, I would be playing a Web 3.0 game. Unfortunately, right now, the Web 3.0 games that I would normally play are either between seasons or the alpha is paused until Friday. So we got to go ahead and do a Web 2.0 game. This is Factorio. You can check it out on Steam. It's a resource management strategy style game. So I'll just be running around in here for a little bit as we go ahead and talk. The other thing I did want to mention is anything I mentioned in this video is not bashing anything except for one thing, which I'll obviously highlight. It's not financial advice. This is just my personal opinion. So please make sure you do your own research before you jump in, do anything. You know the deal. I'm just telling you, do your own research. All right, let's talk about it. Again, trigger warning. The statement is all those sales volume charts that you see on Twitter or the sales ranking on Atomic Hub, they are great for some things, not bashing them at all, but sales volume does not equal a good, entertaining, long-term game. I'm going to pause there. All right, go ahead. Let's put some comments in the chat down below. I'll say it one more time. Sales volume does not equal a good, entertaining game. I get a lot of times on my comments or on Twitter, I see that these should be, if they're in the sales volume chart in the top 10, top 5, they should instantly be on the top projects or the top games that I review. All right. Again, the top games that I review is my personal opinion based on entertainment and longevity and the team that's around it. Again, personal opinion, not saying it's the end all be all. All right. What are sales volume charts actually good for? They let you know that there are some opportunities out there. They let you know that there's some hype around a project. They let you know that there's some not ulterior motives, but some events happening that may or may not have caused the spike in sales. They maybe show you a good sign where the flipping opportunity is there. They're great for project owners because the volume's up. That means the fees that go along with it are pouring in the wax. All good things in really depending on what you're looking for. They could be some very, very good things. So I'm not bashing these sale volume charts at all. But having said all that, there's a lot of reasons that these sale volume charts could be spiked up like that. And it's not because some of it might be. Let me step back. Some may be really great, entertaining long-term games. I am not bashing any of them, but it does not instantly mean that because here are some reasons that sales volume could be high, spiked, and there's a number of reasons that go along with it beyond just being a good game. All right, first reason could be that there's just a lot of hype around the game. Whoever's in charge of that marketing for the project did a fantastic job. So that's out there. That happens. We see it all the time where hype and marketing have really spiked the sales volume. Another thing that could happen is bots. Let's be honest with you. There are games on those lists every single time that are highly botted. Botting essentially means there's a lot of activity on the project or on the game. They are selling NFTs at a very low rate and at a very high volume, which spikes it up. Let's give you the perfect example, and this is the one I'm bashing. I told you I'd let you know what I'm bashing here. There is a lot of volume lists out there, including one that I just saw this morning that has Farmers World. Yes, Farmers World as a top 5, top 3 game, not just on Wax, but Web 3.0 completely. All right. Anytime you see Farmers World on a list, you should just walk away from it. Just throwing that out there. If you're not familiar with Farmers World, if you're brand new to the Web 3.0 space, Farmers World is the biggest rug pull scam that's ever been on Wax. Lots of people lost a whole lot of money on it, and the fact that it's still on these top 10 lists, whether it's a volume list or some other list that shows potential high top projects, it's an absolute shame because it's promoting a rug pull and a scam. It doesn't matter whether they still are a high volume project. Just the fact that it's on the list promotes some. It allows someone who's new to the Web 3.0 space to potentially jump into that project, and it's not being developed anymore. It's been over a year since the development team ran away with everybody's money. It's just I'm sorry, I'm going down a whole nother rant, and I'm going to walk away from that one. Let's jump back onto the train of why sales volume does not equal entertaining games. There's a couple other events. Recently, there's a project that did a full economy change where they went through and they adjusted a lot of things. And I think it was a good move for the overall project. So I'm not saying this is a negative move, but they made a change. They nerfed some NFTs. They also buffed a lot of NFTs. So there, over the last week or two, there's been a lot of volume on the secondary market with people selling the nerfed NFTs, buying new NFTs. And a lot of that volume is just people going through and exchanging NFTs for other NFTs just through the buying process. It does not mean that there's a huge influx of people or players jumping into the game. It doesn't mean that it is an overly popular, entertaining game. It just means there's a major event that happened in the game over the last year and a half. It's the first time that there's been a big economy change in this game. And there's a lot of people that are reacting to it. And they're making the moves to try and better their situation in the game itself. Does not mean it should be a top 10 game. I'll be doing a review on it shortly, probably in the next week or two, so I can get a better opinion on the gameplay itself. But just from the sheer fact that it's top 3 in volume does not mean it's a top 10 entertaining game. Who knows? In a week or two from now, that could drop back down. We've seen it before. We'll see it again. So the main reason I'm throwing this video out there, it's more for new players. It's more for players that misunderstand those rankings. And it's also for projects. There's some projects that'll get on that top 10 list. They'll go ahead and do a pack drop, and they'll skyrocket onto the top 10, top 15 of any list that's out there. And they'll go ahead and start promoting because they were in that top 5, top 10 list one time in the last 6 months that they are a top 10 game on whatever blockchain that they're on. So in some cases, it can be a big smokescreen as far as projects manipulating it. It doesn't happen often, but there are some out there that do it. It's also really, this video is to try and help new players and players that are misunderstanding those charts because some players could see those lists and just jump into a game, whether it is a good game or whether it is a rug pull from a year ago. They jump into the games, and sometimes they can lose money, especially if it's an overly hyped game that drops shortly. Please make sure you do all your research. You can go ahead and use these as a guide to start taking a look at a game, but look into the game, look into the white papers, check out the communities. Don't just jump into a game because it's on the list. And also my list, the list that I put out there on a monthly basis. Don't just see a game that's on that list that I consider a top 1, 2, or 3 game and jump into. Do your research, jump in there, check them out. I can't stress that enough. And I hope this video didn't sound too much like a rant. I know it was a bit of a rant, but I hope you take something away from it, especially if you're taking a look at those charts and just assuming that they're good games. Some of them are great, and I'll say it again. Some of them are great games on those lists. Some of them are just, we won't say the word. Some of them are just bad. All right. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Go ahead in the comments down below. Let me know if you agree with me. Hey, if you don't agree with me, that's perfectly fine. This is my opinion. Let me know if there's any games that you want me to take a look at. And also, I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you later.